Welcome to day 5 of Create Your Book Blueprint. That's right, we all have a story to tell. I'm so glad you guys are here today because this is the meat and potatoes, the bread and butter, the fun stuff, you know? I don't care what you call it, I don't care what you want to call it. This is the day. This is where so many people get hung up. If they even manage to get out of their mindset and break free from all of those limiting beliefs, all of those doubts and all of those voices in their heads and outside, all of those people that, because of their own limiting beliefs, are telling us that, we can't do it and we shouldn't do it and all the reasons why it won't work. And we covered that in day 1, remember? We smashed all of those terrors and we turned them on its head, and we created our truths, our reasons why, the truth why we are ready to be published authors, the truth why we have stories to tell, the truth of why we're valuable, the truth of why people are waiting for what we have, the truth of why now is the time to become a published author. We covered that in day 1, smashed through that. And all of you that were here live, all of you that are listening to the recordings and did the work, did your homework, I applaud you, because it's not enough to hear it, but we need to embody it. We need to bring it in. We need to do it in order for it to make a difference for us. And once we smashed through all of that, we went to day 2. Day 2, craft your topic challenge, clarifying your one message. A lot of potential authors, we're all over the place because we have so many ideas. We have so many experiences, so many things from our heart that we want to share, so many people we want to help. And as a result, we're jumping all over and we're spinning around like a crazy dervish, and we don't get anywhere. Like one of those hamsters on a hamster wheel, all of our ideas are going round and round and round in our head. And then if we manage to even get anything on paper, we're scribbling it out, we're changing it, we're rewriting it. We're like, that word is not quite perfect. This is not quite it. And we get stuck again. So we manage to break through the voices, and then we get stuck on this, what do I write about? And in day 2, we broke through that, and we clarified what is our one topic for now. What is our one message that we want to leave with people, that we want to bring to the world? You craft that one message. And it's not that all of your other messages aren't valuable. They are. But we have to start somewhere, because if we're trying to serve everybody, we serve nobody. You know this, right? And so it's about deciding. It's not saying that you'll never use those messages, that you'll never share them. It's about choosing which one now, and honing in on that, and fertilizing that, and giving it seed to grow, allowing that to develop, that one idea. And surprisingly, when we actually pick our one idea, a lot of times all of these other pieces and other ideas, we find some of them are actually supporting ideas that we can incorporate and bring in anyway. Then after that, day 3, we cover generating quality titles and subtitles that get your reader's attention. What is the point of having an amazing book, even if it changes lives, even if it makes a difference in somebody's vision, even if it shifts the whole trajectory of the world? If nobody picks it up and reads it, what's the point? And they say, oh, you can't judge a book by its cover. Bull, okay? We all do it. Unfortunately, it is human nature. So the first thing, and honestly, there's so much noise right now. We live in a digital world. We live with the internet. Everybody's interconnected across the globe. There's constantly messages and information everywhere. Not necessarily good information, just information coming in. And so as humans, we look for ways to break through the noise. We look for the ways to decide very quickly what's relevant to us. And one of the things we do when we're selecting our books, most of us will look at the title, we'll look at the subtitle, we'll decide yes or no, this is for me, this is not for me, and that's it. And so having a quality title really makes a difference. And most of the books in this time frame are now having subtitles as well. I'm trying to adjust the camera to get a better connection with you guys here. Have subtitles as well. And why is that? It's because again, people want the quick understanding of what is this about, how does this relate to me, is this for me, are you talking to me, what does this title mean? You know, I think long gone are the days where people would spend time to open the book and browse the table of contents and read each chapter heading to see, what is the author trying to tell me? No, they're going to look at the book, they're going to look at the cover, and they're going to decide very quickly whether they want to buy it or not, period. And then a lot of times, the book is not even in their hands. They're scrolling online, and they're flipping through covers, looking for, what books they want to read, or they put in a topic, and your book popped up, and a few other books on that topic related may have popped up, and they're trying to see which one, that one. Click, buy, download, done. And that is how quickly we need to get our readers' attention. So we covered that in day 3. Day 4, tell your story, capture your wisdom. Now, this is the nuts and bolts, the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes, whatever you want to call it. Vegetarian, the rice and carrots, whatever you want to say. This is about the center of your book. What's between those covers? And this is another point where a lot of potential authors get stuck. We have the idea, we have the title, we know what we want to write about, we know the audience that we're writing for, we know why we're writing to them. And then we start to try to put our ideas down on paper to support that, our manuscript, and we think we have to wax prose poetically. We think we have to suddenly become Shakespeare, and every word that flows out of our pen must be perfectly done in order, and everything's ready, and this is perfect gold. And when that doesn't happen, what do? We beat ourselves up, right? Oh, I'm not good at this. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have tried this. Oh, this is taking too long. Oh my God, I don't have time for this. And we loop back to what we broke through in day 1, those limiting beliefs, those mindset barriers that keep us from moving forward, from completing this book. And instead of that, yesterday we talked about stop trying to be perfect. There is no perfect. That is the lowest possible standard. And when we try to be perfect, that means we're not going to do it. Period. We just don't. Saying I want it to be perfect is another way of saying I'm not going to do it. That's the translation of that sentence. So instead, we talked about yesterday, jotting down those ideas, capturing them bit by bit, without editing them, without trying to be perfect, getting them all out of that hamster wheel of our head and putting them down on paper and saying, oh, here's an idea, here's some of the research, just bullet point them, writing down in sentence here, there, and put them together later. Yesterday I gave you the analogy of the puzzle. You have the framework. That when you get a puzzle, you don't start putting the pieces together until you've turned them all over, until they're all right side up and you can see all of the different pieces. And what's the next step? And all those different pieces are all of those thoughts, all of those ideas, all of your research, all of whatever these pieces are. You have to turn them right side up first. So jot them all down. Get them out of your head. Stop trying to put them together before you turn them all over. And the framework of your puzzle are all the things that we covered. It's your title, it's your subtitle, it's your ideal reader and why you're writing for them. It's your one topic, your truth, your story, your expertise. This is the framework, and now we know which pieces of the puzzle start to go where, and you'll start to see and cluster the different pieces of your story. These are your chapters. We went through this yesterday in greater detail, and it's in your manual as well. Make sure you download your manual. It's on the site, and today, we are going to talk about your team to publish. How to win the game fast and easy. Now, I speak to clients that I'm bringing in to work with, and I hear the same thing over and over and over again. I've been wanting to do this for years. It's been a year, it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years, it's been since I was a child. And now I'm an old man, I'm an old woman, and I still haven't done it. And it breaks my heart because I could feel the broken heart and the hurt. And it breaks my heart mostly because I know it doesn't have to be that way anymore. I went through that with my first book. I went through that pain of a decade of changing and struggling and trying to figure it out by myself. You know what I learned with my third book? We don't have to do it alone. We shouldn't do it alone. Every single dream you have should be connected to a team that supports it, a team that builds it, a team that is on board with you to help you get results fast. That is what we want around us for everything we're doing, including our book project. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And for all of you lone wolves out there who don't believe me, keep trying to do it alone. It doesn't make any sense, and it's not necessary. Because when we do it alone, we're going to find another decade has passed. And we're still going, one day I'll publish a book. This is the way forward. This is part of your team. This community right here is part of your team. So congratulations. You've already stepped out of trying to be the lone wolf, doing it yourself. So I applaud you. Yes, that is awesome. We're going to go over some of the things in our manual for today. I'm going to talk about that team. Who do you need on your team? This is something that a lot of people, honestly, we know what we know, we don't know what we don't know. It's just that simple. The team that I work with to support each one of my clients are amazing. They're amazing people that are good at their specific jobs to make sure that the whole team carries that author to victory, to success, to holding their book, to getting it out in the world, to getting it done. We all work together to make sure that happens. And why is this important? Because you know what? Honestly, you guys have a life already. You're so busy. You have so many things to do. And on day one, that was also one of the mindset things that we broke through. I don't have time. This is one of the ways to break through that belief that sometimes reality, we have time for what we want to have time for. And the things that we honestly can't seem to fit in around that, often it's because maybe we have an impotent strategy. We may need a different way to accomplish the result. If we've been trying to do it the same way over and over and over for years and it's not working, it's okay to give up that strategy. It's probably not the right strategy. And so what we do instead is we have a team. We build our team. Mindset coach. That's one of the things that I do. I work with my clients to make sure that they stay on track. They keep the right mindset in this process. That it's something that's fun, that it's easy, that it's enjoyable, that it's natural. And I have different ways to do that, to work with my clients and make sure that happens, because I want you guys to enjoy your process of becoming a published author. This is just as important as the finished work, the journey that you're taking to get there, how you're feeling along the way. The other thing I do is not just the mindset coaching, which is very, very important, but also making sure that you're constantly moving forward, step by step, that you're taking action. A lot of times when we're doing this by ourselves, it's easy to kick the can down the road. I'll do it later. I'll take care of that another day. And the issue with that is another day also never comes. Because there's always going to be life happening. Life is always happening, and that's just the bottom line. So this is one of the things that we must do, the things that really matter to us, so that we don't, and we all do it. I have coaches. I'm a coach, and I have coaches. Why is that? It's not that I necessarily don't know everything that I need to know, and I don't. I honestly don't. I know some things. They know some things. You know some things, and they're different things. And some things we don't know. Some things we know, but we aren't doing. Some things we know, and but we aren't doing it, and we don't know why. And the right coach helps us to break through that. Sometimes we don't see it. So it's really, really critical to have that person in your life to do that. So find that person, select whoever that is to help you through this process. And it's not that you can't do it by yourself. You absolutely can. But it's just so much easier and so much more enjoyable when you're doing it together. Another person that I'd recommend you find for your team is your project manager. Like I said, I also do that. I also have someone else who helps to manage the projects as well. And we make sure that the deadlines are met. We make sure that the pieces are put together. We make sure that all of the 50 things that need to happen to go from idea to published author, all of those things are aligned in place and rolled out. And this is, and again, this is great because with the team around you, hi Jackie, welcome. With the team around you, you can focus on the other things in your life, your family, your business, your health, your well-being, all of the other things that you have going on to take care of. Another person on your team, or another part of your team, your manuscript editors. There are a lot of books that are self-published that skipped over this step, and let's just say we can tell. And again, sometimes we don't see what we don't see, and having a professional to look at your manuscript to help to make sure that it's put together in a professional way that shows the beauty and the glory of what you're saying. Because sometimes having a book and it's put together in a sloppy way, and it's like, no matter how great the messages or the ideas are, sometimes they could get lost. It's like making a beautiful grilled steak and putting it on a garbage can lid and then serving it to somebody. No matter how good the steak is, that's very unappetizing. And instead, have somebody look at those details and make sure that, they're done well, that everything is, and it's not just about grammar and spelling. What I also do with my clients is I look to see, is what the author is saying, is that representative of the author? Does that represent their authentic voice? Is that the way they would say it, how they would say it? And then I look at the other side, the reader. How would the reader, their ideal client, their ideal reader, how would the reader understand what they're saying? This is a unique skill that I developed as an attorney, and And it's not an easy thing to do, to step into different viewpoints and different roles and see something from different angles. My brain can't turn it off. It's just what I do. But it's a very critical, important step to make sure that you're understood properly. And then, of course, there's the technical editing. Well, we'll get to that. Yes, we'll just do that now. The technical editing, and I have my team who does that to make sure that the book looks beautiful. And they make sure that, they do another check on spelling and grammar, make sure that everything is aligned and everything is looking great, and how it's fitting on the pages, and that it's put together in a way that's acceptable for publishing, because there are certain standards to meet. And then, of course, your cover. We have cover creators. This is a very, very important thing as well. Again, like we talked about in one of the previous lessons, with your title and your subtitle, that's part of your cover. Your images on your book, that's part of your cover. How they fit together, all of the necessary things that are required to be on your cover, like your ISBN number and other things. All of these things on your cover, inside and outside your cover. We have a team that puts that stuff together in a way that is exciting for you, that represents you. And so make sure that you have those designers putting together those amazing covers for your beautiful work. Don't go cheap on this. Don't go last minute on this. Again, we have only a few moments sometimes to make that impression, to grab the reader's attention. So your cover team makes a huge difference. Who else? Analytics selector. This is that's a big fancy word for saying a whole bunch of technical stuff. Okay? Basically, when you're publishing, there are certain analytics that have to be looked at and deciphered, which categories of your book would your book sell the best in, and a whole lot of other things like that. I have teams that do that to make sure that your book is presented to the right people in the right way and gets out in their hands. Because again, we could have done everything else right, but if we put it in the wrong market, it may get overlooked. And so it's really important to make sure our book is presented in the right markets. And we do that. So that's another part of your team you really, really want. Who else? Haha, marketing creator. This is another key part of your team. I made this mistake with my second book. I published the book and never marketed it. So how are people supposed to know it's there? This is so key. A lot of times, part of it may be again, back to day one, those limiting beliefs. We just kind of hide our light under the bush and hope nobody sees how bright and amazing and shining you really are. And it shouldn't be that way. Marketing is not about tooting our own horn and saying, oh, I'm so wonderful, I'm so great, even though you're wonderful and you're great. Marketing is about allowing the people that need what you have to see where it is so they can get it. It's just that simple. This is an act of service. Marketing is part of sales. It's an act of service. This is part of giving your message to the world, of getting it out there. Think about it. Every single thing that you bought, somebody probably at some point has marketed, has put it out into the world, has said, hey, look at this. This is what you need. This is what I have. And you went, oh, great. Thank you for letting me know. Now I can get it. It's the same with your book. So having your marketing creative team around you is critical, so that it's not just hidden in the corners, in the dark recesses of, somewhere, but that the people that you've written this book for can actually find it. So this is your dream team to results fast. This is how I get my authors published. Instead of, having this be a 1, 2, 3 year journey, they're doing it in a matter of months. And the reason for that is because they're not doing it alone. they have me and the whole team supporting them, handling all of our different pieces. It's like if you go to a baseball game, you don't see one person out there, except for that old Bugs Bunny cartoon. Does anybody remember that old Bugs Bunny cartoon where Bugs was playing all of the bases? He was hitting the ball, he was pitching, he was catching, he was running, but besides that cartoon, we can't do that. We don't play the game by ourselves. We have an entire team. There's a pitcher, there's a catcher, there are runners, there's bat boys, there's, a coach, there's a manager, there's a concession stand seller, there's a ticket taker, there's a salesperson selling the tickets. All of these people are part of the team to make the game happen. And this is no different than becoming a successful published author. We don't have to do it ourselves. And you know what, honestly, yeah, you could learn how to do each of these jobs and spend, 2 years learning how to do the technical edits, spend another year learning how to figure out the analytics and what sells and what doesn't. I've spent another year learning how to put together the graphics for your social media calendar and what and all of that stuff. You could spend all of it. Why? Why would you do that? I know I don't want to do it. And instead, find people who are in their zone of genius, doing those things already, so that you can stay in your zone of genius, doing what you are truly created to do. It's just that simple. And this is how we keep it fun. Because if you're doing the things that you love doing and allow other people to do the things that they love to do, man, now that's a party. Let's see. So pick your team to ensure that you have fast, easy, fun success. Again, this is not just about the result of, oh, my book is done. This is about having fun on your journey to being a published author. Because on this journey, you're not just creating a book, you are becoming. You're becoming more of who you already are in a fantastic way. You are releasing another part of the amazingness that's in you. You are stepping into another part of your identity. And so being present for that is so, so important. Because as you do this, you're going to look back and you're going to say, wow, that was some ride, and I loved every minute of it. And you're going to want to do it again, and again, and again, because you enjoyed it. So if you're not enjoying your process, it may be because you're trying to play all of the bases. You're trying to run around like Bugs Bunny, first base, second base, third base, home, pitching, catching, manager, umpire. It's crazy. No wonder that we're like, oh, I can't do this. And then we hide under the covers and we're like, nope, not doing it. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, won't do that again. I work with my team. My clients work with my team. And this is how we get to it's done. So what I would love for you guys to do is to commit today to choosing your date to publish. And if you pick the date 5 years out, nope, wrong answer. If you pick the date a year out, nope, wrong answer. I want you to pick a date within 6 months of today. That's right. And you're going to work backwards from there. And that's a very generous, because my clients don't take that long. And so I'm being very generous with that time frame. Choose a date within the next 6 months for you to publish your book. You need something to work towards. You need an end game, an end time. Otherwise, it'll just drag on forever. And how many of you know what I'm talking about? What gets scheduled gets done. What doesn't get scheduled is just a dream that's going to get pushed off again and again and again. So select your date to publish and go ahead and put it in the group what that date is, so that we can celebrate with you, so that we can ask you how it's going, so that we can support you. And then also, when we tell people, suddenly we feel a lot more committed. It's a leverage that we have, that we've created for ourselves. And with leverage, we're more compelled to move forward. Also, share with us, what is your very next step? Yesterday in our training, we covered that. You know, instead of looking at, oh my God, I need to take care of all of this. I must find my marketing creator, my analytics selector. I have to find my technical editor. Oh, who's going to design my cover? My management, I still have to design the perfect cover. Oh, and the project manager. Oh, I need a coach because I'm thinking incorrectly. Oh, wait. What's my title again? Oh, no, not that one. I need a new subtitle. Instead of jumping all over the place, trying to do everything at once, which again gets us stuck and into inaction, step by step by step. What's my next step? So share today in the group, what is your next step and what is your date to publish that you are going to commit to? And I know this might be scary. What is your date of publishing commitment? But this is exhilarating. This is freeing. This is not putting you in a box. There is no box, remember? This is telling your brain, this is my target. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm getting. Yeah, it's very difficult to see, you know, all of the pieces that we need to put together. And when it's spelled out and laid out, it, you know, that clarity is like, oh, I get it now. I understand. And it's wonderful. This is a roadmap, you know, and this is something that I duplicate again and again. I have my AWA system that I take my clients through. And I'm like, this is where we start. This is what's next. This is what's next. This is what's next. We're done. And sometimes it's not a straight line. You know, we're looping back sometimes, hitting some mindset issues. We're looping back sometimes, wanting to change a title or subtitle. We're looping back sometimes, discussing the content and the topic, and you know, and we're working within it. But there is a linear map that's happening, and we know which step and where if we need to jump back and move forward again, and it's okay. But with the team, we keep moving forward. We're doing all of that. We're addressing these things as they come up, but we keep moving forward, and we hit that end date, that target. And so I absolutely honor you, you know, that you are stepping up and declaring your published date, that you're stepping up and deciding, you know, the focus on just your next step to get there. And when you complete that next step that you've decided on, you ask yourself that question again, and what's my next step? And you do that, and only that. And what's my next step? And then you do that, and only that. And you continue step by step by step. And before you know it, you've climbed the mountain. You're standing on the peak. You're waving the flag. You've planted your flag on the top of the mountain. Your book is the picture of the flag. You've declared this mountain yours in the name of your book, because you've conquered it step by step, and you win. The world wins. We all win when you win. By publishing your book, by getting your story out, by sharing your message. You know, so I urge you, find your dream team, put them together, bring them to you. If you're interested in hearing about my dream team and possibly working with us, I am allowing just 3 more spots in between that I'll onboard in June. And because I work one-on-one, and I want to make sure that all of my authors have the attention and the team's attention that they need, I keep the numbers small. And I select who I want to work with because I want to make sure that I'm working with people that want to get to results. I'm making sure that I'm working with people that have the message that resonates with me and my team. Messages of hope, of light, of resiliency, of of transformation, of health, of, anything positive that the world needs to hear right now so desperately. And these are the books that I focus on. And I work with all genres of books, because it's not just about the genre of books, but it's about the message that book is bringing to the world. And I'm on a mission to create authors. This is my life mission, to make sure that any of you, every single one of you, at the sound of my voice, in live or in the recording, every single one of you, it's my mission to help you to publish. I want your story out in the world where it belongs. You've had amazing experiences, amazing insights, amazing thoughts, crazy, wonderful ideas, super stories, things that have come to you, maybe a story in the night, maybe an idea that happened into your mind one day when you were out jogging, or in the shower, and like, wow, I need to share this, I need to write this, I want to do this. Whatever that is, share it. Because we are not going to keep taking stories to the graveyard, because, and robbing the world of them. I applaud, I honor you, because you are doing what 80% of the world just doesn't do, just won't do. Most say, oh, I want to write a book. I will write a book one day. One day never comes. And instead, they kick it down the road, and before they know it, it's the end. And they go, oh, I wish I had of. I wish I shared my story. I wish I shared my lessons. And now they're leaving this earth with me. That breaks my heart, which is why I'm on a mission to counter that. I will not let that happen. You are amazing. Your life experiences, your wisdom, your words of hope, of love, of laughter, of resiliency, of overcoming, of tragedy turning into triumph, your successes out of your so-called setbacks. All of these things the world wants, the world needs authentically. Because where you were, there are thousands and thousands of people there, and sometimes worse. And by doing what you're doing, by becoming a published author, you're helping all of those people to bridge that gap, to take that journey faster, to not have to figure out all the things that may have taken you years and decades to figure out. And in the process, they're buying your book, contributing to your business, contributing to your life as well. So, this is a beautiful, beautiful symbiotic relationship of growth for everyone. You can find me on www.awa4life, that's AWA 4LIFE.com, and I'll have my assistant put it up on a post so that you know how to reach me, how to see more information about what Author Writers Academy does and what we offer, and how our team gets results. And there you can see some of the testimonies of some of the people that we work with, and it's a beautiful, beautiful process of deciding not to do it alone. And guess what? When you're working with me, I have this thing I say, you know what? If you've told me you want to publish a book, I'm like a dog with a bone. I am not letting you go. I will make sure you get published. I will make sure you get out of your own way and you get the results that you truly desire. I'm so proud of you guys for being here on day 5. Wow, wow, wow. Day 5. Yes, Alsha has a question. She didn't know how to create a poll, no problem. And she says she's still not sure which book to start working on first. Alright, so she has a few book ideas and believes that they're all important. And they're absolutely all important. And the thing is, pick. If you have 3 book ideas that are all important, pick one and begin. And then when you're done, pick another one and begin. And when you're done, pick another one and begin. It reminds me of a story that I heard. Honestly, I don't remember which general it was. One of the U.S. military generals, let's say Schwarzkopf. There was this big project that was going on that they wanted to incorporate, and they narrowed it down to 2 ideas. And all of the teams, they had the top minds in the world all working, trying to decide which project idea to go with. And this went on for years of analysis and back and forth. And this team said, no, project A is the one we should go with. And this team said, no, definitely project B. This is the way we need to go to make this happen. And years just went back and forth, and all of the research and all of the, trying to decide which way to go, which one to go with. And so finally they went to the general and said, sir, we need you to decide. And so he sat there and he listened for an hour. He heard Project A and all of the details and the drawbacks and the pluses and minuses and this and that. And he heard Project B and the pluses and minuses and then he said, okay, great. We're going to go with Project A. Make it happen. Everybody said, yes, sir. Moved out. And his assistant was perplexed by this, and he said, sir, they've been going round and about for years trying to decide which one to do. How, respectively, can you just tell me, how could you decide that so decisively in just an hour? You don't know all of the research underlying it. You don't know all of the numbers and the data that they have. How did you decide that, so quickly? And the general said, because it didn't matter which one I picked. They had already narrowed it down from all of the other stuff out there to these 2 things that were both important, that both mattered, that would both make a difference. So, and both going to have their good points and their drawbacks. So when I picked one, suddenly they were all focused together on making that successful. So now there is no split, no division, no question. Team A and Team B are just the team. And they're going to work to make it happen. And if they hit any snags in the road, they're going to fix it. They're going to overcome it. They're going to find a way around it. They're going to correct, and they're going to keep moving forward. So it's about choosing, taking that step, getting that focus, singular focus. Remember we talked about that early in the week, that one thing, singular focus, and putting all of your energy and your focus into that. And what's amazing is once you know this is what you're focused on, your one thing, your reticular activating system is part of your brain that lets you know, that makes you filter out the stuff that you decided doesn't matter right now and pull in the stuff that does matter for you in that moment. That part of your brain kicks in big time. And suddenly you're going to start hearing podcasts and reviews and seeing books and hearing articles and hearing recordings on your topic. You're going to hear conversations as you pass in the street of people talking about it. Suddenly people are going to start coming to you and telling you about this and sharing their stories and ideas. And they may not even know that this is what you're writing about. It's something amazing. This is a beautiful energy that you tap into when you decide singular focus and you stay focused and connected to that one thing. And then you go and you go and you go. That momentum picks you up and you keep moving forward. And like I said, you're not choosing that one and excluding the others. You're prioritizing one and telling the others to wait. Their time will come as well. So that is absolutely wonderful. And if you really want to know which one of these things you want to start with, do the homework in your workbook, and that was posted online. This will really help you to get clarity as to where your heart is really leading you right now. Stop letting your head tell you you should do this one, you should do that one. Let that go. Forget about should. We're not going to should all over ourselves. I say should. Instead, we're going to tap into our heart and we're going to ask ourselves, our highest self, that knowing, that intuition, what do I need to share right now? And let that lead you. Let that answer be your truth. I was asked to speak to a group and on any topic that I wanted. And I had no idea what topic I wanted to share with the group. And then, so I put off saying yes and put off saying yes because I had no idea what I wanted to teach. And it was completely wide open, up to me. And then something interesting happened. Instead of waiting for my idea to come, I said yes. I said yes and I committed to a date. And right after I did that, the idea came to me very clear what I needed to share, what I needed to teach, what I needed to talk about within my zone of genius, my zone of expertise, and what would benefit that group. I knew right away, but only after I said yes, only after I committed to a date, only after I locked in. And one of the biggest ways is stepping out of our heads into our hearts and just going with it. Making a bad decision is better than making no decision. And, some people may disagree with that, but it's the absolute truth. If you make a great decision, awesome. If you make a bad decision, you're getting facts, you're getting feedback, you're getting information, and you can adjust that decision. And you can say, okay, this didn't work. I can shift here, I can move here. You have something to work with. If you make no decision, you have no input. You're going nowhere. And actually, making no decision is actually making a decision. It's making a crappy decision. Making no decision is making a decision to let somebody else lead. Making a decision to not decide is just dropping your power, dropping your options, dropping your beautiful, beautiful energy in the trash. So make a decision, own it, and adjust. That is where your magic is. This is how you get results. And this is what we're about. We're about going from one day I might write a book to day one. Congratulations, you all did that. You're doing that. To it's done. Keep active in this group. Keep connected. Let us know what you're doing, what's your next step. As you encounter another step and another step, let us know what's your next step. If you want to set an appointment with me to discuss possibly working with me and my dream team to get you to results fast, feel free to connect with us, www.awaforlife.com. It's Author Writers Academy, awaforlife.com. Connect, we'll set a time, we'll talk, and we'll see you on the other side fast and easy. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. You authors in the making, you authors becoming. I am so proud of you for going through your Create a Book blueprint. You are miles ahead of where you were just 5 days ago. And that is absolutely fantastic. Congratulations, and I look forward to continuing to support you, to celebrate you, to give you any advice, to share with you, and to have all of the other members of the community do so as well. And likewise, to hear your input and your advice and your thoughts as the community shares here as well. So we're building up here, and I am just thrilled to be taking this journey with you. Some of you, this will be your first book. Some of you, this will be your next book. And it is absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful that you're doing this. Jump in, do it, enjoy it, and just have, Words, it's funny for a lawyer and an author to say this, and a writer and a speaker to even say it, but words escape me because I know the path you're on now. I know the journey that you have taken. You've taken action. You've started your momentum. You're in flow. You're in a community. You're connecting to your team. You're doing it. And so right now, in this spot, I'm celebrating your it's done. I'm celebrating holding your book in your hands. I'm celebrating you because I believe in you. I know you're going to do this now. Because you know how I know? Because you showed up here. Because you're showing up for yourself. You're showing up for your dream. You're showing up for your book. And that is how I know it's done. Anytime you feel like you're forgetting that, close your eyes. Take those 3 slow, deep breaths into your heart. Close your eyes and picture that book done. Picture that book. Feel those pages turning in your hands. See the smiles on the people's faces as they hold your book in their hands. See the tears rolling down their eyes as they say, thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing your beautiful heart, your beautiful wisdom, your beautiful knowledge with us. Thank you for helping me on my journey. I'll see you on the other side. It's done. Again, remember, if you want to reach out to me, do so. owlwalkforlife.com. Love you all. Bye.